are the cap for whatever goes on in your store, in your company, in your district, in your household. However excited you are, what you believe is possible, whatever that threshold is.
Good afternoon, team. Jim Cripps here with the Charge Forward podcast, coming to you from Hit Lab Studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I have a special guest for you today, Mr. Janis Lasmanis, and he is the guy here in Middle Tennessee that if you've got an exotic car and you want it to look pristine and perfect all the time, he's your guy. Whether it's ceramic coating, whether it's paint correction, whether it's just making sure that it's sharp for that next event, we got Janis in the studio.
That's
right. Now, Janis, give me a little backstory, because you're not from the States, obviously. How long have you been in the States, and then how did you get to Tennessee?
Oh, dude, seriously, sometimes. I'm a car guy because I work with cars, and I actually used to live around the corner from here, and I like to go on my evening drives. It's just, that's my therapy, and I drive around, and I'm like, how the hell did that guy here? Like, what happened? So yeah. I grew up in Latvia, which is Eastern Europe. So we're pretty much, we border Russia, we border Estonia and Lithuania and Belarus. So we're in candid, at the Baltic Sea. We're in that area. So I left home then when I was, I think, 19 years old, and I moved to UK. So I lived there for almost 10 years and did all sorts of random jobs, run clubs, nightclubs, bar club, all sorts of bars, and I was a bodyguard for about 6 to 8 years. I used to work for Prince Charles as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I used to work for a family for a while. So, yeah, I had a very eventful life. I looked after Eminem, Marilyn Manson, I met a lot of cool people and been in a lot of cool places, man.
So I got a crazy one for you. Marilyn Manson, so Brian Warren, has actually been at my house.
No way.
Now, he did not come in because, so I used to be friends with his producer. And they stopped by my house one night at like 2:30 in the morning, and I didn't answer the phone. And I get a call I called back the next morning, and he's like, dude, we were banging on the door. I was like, yeah, I heard you. I was like, it's 2:30. And he's like, no, we had the limo out front. He sends me a picture, like they're on the beach. Yeah. He was like, we were headed to the airport. We were going to pick you up.
Damn it. Dude, his manager was an absolute asshole. Seriously,
there's a lot of them in that industry that are.
Yeah, dude. Because I didn't work right next to him. So usually the person that's next to the celebrity, that's called personal protection officer.
Yeah.
So those guys usually stick with that kind of level celebrity, but then they usually hire the next circuit and going onwards and drivers and whatever. And his manager literally lined us up for us because we were in the first perimeter. He's like, you are not allowed to wear a strong deodorant. You're not allowed to wear an aftershave. If he's not going to like you or the way you smell, he's just going to walk off the stage. He's like, don't even look at him. Don't talk to him. And then he just comes out, what's up, guys? I was like, F this guy. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah.
And I literally told him, I was like, this guy said you're an absolute asshole. And I was like, you're just a cool dude,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's chill.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the buddy of mine, he literally sent me a picture, and he was like, oh, we were around the corner from your house earlier that day, just having a cheeseburger at the local, restaurant.
Yeah.
Of course, nobody knew who it was.
Yeah.
So, but...
Yeah, in Tennessee, they're like, who's this emo girl?
That's right.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, you come to the United States after... Now, you even worked for Facebook when you were in the UK, right?
Yeah, so I was in the security industry in general.
Okay.
So I used to have my own security company. I started as so the way it worked, so I used to work at, I used to run nightclubs and restaurants, and, it didn't pay that well, and there was just so much headache, things that you have to think about. For the money I was making, I was like, I just don't like this kind of stuff. And I technically don't have really any kind of other education than, former military. So, and in the UK, that was an option because I don't want to go to war ever.
Right.
I was very lucky not to go to war, and thank you for everybody who's done the service. Thank you for your help and your support. But so anyway, but I was always I used to be really handy, so yeah. I can fight,
Yeah. Well,
so,
and you're a big dude.
Yeah.
I mean, even here at the studio, that handshake's powerful.
Yeah. I'm 6'3", about 250 on a good day.
Right.
Yeah, but so some of the owners that I used to run the nightclubs for, so they literally cut down security by half because I was there.
That's right.
Literally, I used to just drag people out while the security was like, what's going on here, And then one of my buddies, he just opened his own nightclub, and he's like, how would you like to be a head of security? I was like, why not? So then I took over that nightclub, another big nightclub, and about 15 to 20 bars just in general I was working around. So yeah, put my people in place and stuff. So that's how I got into security. And then I kind of outgrew that part. It kind of got boring, so I sold the company, not for much, but still. And then I moved into to the close protection. So close protection is the bodyguard.
Sure.
And then when I was working for some of these guys, we had like some of my assignments used to be 3 months on, 2 days off. So for 3 months, that's all you do. You live with the family, you work with them, and then for 2 days you go home and just like look at your condo and turn around and go back. But so there's a lot of downtime. You sit in sometimes, in a bulletproof Range Rover in front of some gate that nobody ever drives through, but they have the money to pay for you. So just sitting there picking your nose. So I started studying counterterrorism. So, and with that, about 2 years later, I got a job at Facebook as a counterterrorism advisor for the physical security team. So it sounds real fancy, but like all I was doing, I was writing procedures, and they paid me a lot. And all I was teaching them, because we're not allowed to have weapons there, even as security guards. So all I was doing, telling them, look, if somebody walks in here with a gun, that's the direction you run, and that's where you hide, hide, report, and then you're good,
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I just bumped into a beautiful girl, downtown London at the bar that I usually don't go. It's like Nashville Broadway. Like people who live here don't ever go there.
That's right.
And I just bumped into this beautiful girl, and we started talking, and she was from Arlington, Virginia. She was studying out there in the UK. So yeah, one thing after another, we were dating for a while, and then I was in between assignments, so you get because you're a contractor, so I could have re-signed again for Facebook, and she was just like, "Do you want to come see me to the States? I'm going for summer." I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And 3 months turned into 6 months, 6 months turned into a year. Then relationship was more serious. Later on, we got married, and then I started Corsair.
Yep.
And so I started Corsair because for the first year, while I was here, I couldn't legally work. And because obviously I don't want to mess with the government. I don't want them to catch me. I don't want to do construction somewhere, so they're gonna deport me, and I'm gonna mess in. Once you're in that process and you get deported, like that's it. You ain't coming back, no matter who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
So that was really serious. And luckily from my wife's side, I had some support that we're not starving. You know what I mean? So I had the opportunity to kind of figure out what I want to do, take my time, and then I started cleaning cars, like my own car, because I can't sit still. I got to do something. It doesn't matter. Like, even if I'm 70 years old and whatever money I'm going to have, I got to keep moving. I got to keep doing something. So I cleaned my car, my girlfriend's wife's car, fiance's, whatever, her mom's car, and like just everybody, family's cars. And I like it, like I washed my cars, like, I always had some nice cars before, and I always took care of it myself. And then my former mother-in-law was taking somebody to the airport. Some work colleague, and she's like, "Oh, did you bought a new car?" She's like, "No, Janis cleaned it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, he's so good at it." And I started to kind of paste things together, and I started running into some problems. How do you clean a carpet? What kind of chemicals do you use? So obviously, YouTube certified Janis, And then I see all these guys with these amazing shops, all the shops that I have now.
That's right.
All the lights and R8s and Ferraris and all this stuff, and like some of them are owners and operators and stuff. So. And I really enjoyed doing it, and I started to kind of put like almost like a little business plan together. I'm like, look, I got nothing to do anyway, might as well just do a little market research. So I called around, what would it cost to, detail, I don't know, a C-Class Mercedes, like $200, I'm like, damn, I can do 3 a day. I mean, $600, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of money. So I started a Facebook page, went to AutoZone with about $200 in my pocket. But I had like some sort of shop vac already and like a $80 power washer. Yeah. And then I bought, glass cleaner, spray wax, some rags, and I put a couple posts up on, there's like local Franklin buy and sell. Just put up like, come to your house for $150 or $125. Yeah. Clean your car. And my first car was an Escalade. It was pre-used, but she bought it used secondhand, and the detail department at the dealership didn't do a great job. She was like, "It's a 2-year-old car, but it still looks like crap." Yeah. So she's like, "I'm gonna get them to pay for it. Can you come to my house?" And dude, like, I could have finished that car in half an hour. I kind of had to drag it off at least like 2. It's just dusty. So I did that. She gave me $150 and $150 tip. Okay. And I was like.
Well, yeah, because she's going to get the dealership to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, she's like, "Can you send me an invoice?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't have an invoice, but I figured it out. Just download one, Google it. Because she had to invoice the dealership. But yeah, I was like, $300. I'm like, I could have done this in an hour. And again, I like it,
Yeah.
Get up in the morning, my stuff is packed, everything is neat, I know how everything is, and all my chemicals, I know what reacts with everything, how it works, and yeah, the rest is kind of history, started to advertise more. Then I created a Google profile, started a website.
Yep.
Obviously started LLC. And then I got involved in a couple like local cars and coffee groups as well. Mm-hmm. I was there every Sunday, and I still remember there's one Cars and Coffee in Dallas Landing. There was usually 3 of us on a Sunday. 3.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't know, if it's snowing, everybody's like, now every Sunday there's about 1,500 cars.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it. No, I mean, it was good. So yeah, and just getting the local trust and everything, and then when I started getting more cars and more bookings, then I hired a buddy of mine who didn't know how to vacuum a car, and I'll teach him all the ways and everything.
Sure.
So that was my first employee. And then I have another one. Then I moved into the shop. I was renting kind of like a shop space. Then we had our own shop. And then, things started to evolve. We started subcontract a couple of things like, window tinting and stuff. And then I opened a place in Florida, in Orlando. And then, our house flooded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just the pipe bursted, We were going to a Super Bowl party for 2 days. Come back and there's like water coming out of the garage, like, But we rented it, which was good. So that was my wife's at the time to pull out of Virginia, because she grew up there. She didn't want to live there. So we kind of just traveled around. And I was like, baby, I just started this business. I just started stacking money. We got married as well. So we got married here, and we also got married in Latvia, which is a beautiful wedding, that I paid for as well. And I was really happy that I had the opportunity, family helped me before. And now we got married in Palace, which was built for Russian Tsar's wife.
Oh my gosh!
You can't even get married there. But my grandfather, he was a big shot, so he pulled that off. So it was beautiful. So then all of a sudden we got married and come back, and she's like, we got to move, and I'm like, where? Like, I don't know. I know 10 people at the time in America, Mm-hmm. So we went to North Carolina, went to LA, to Vegas, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I was like, do you know anybody like in Nashville? No. Let's check it out there. So we came out here, partied obviously for 2 days. That was great, Downtown, Broadway. Oh, great time. And like, when you focus on, like, let's say something, I don't know, you focus on a white van,
Mm-hmm.
That's all you see on the street. So I kind of looked around, and I'm like, I just see some shitty cars here, Like, I don't know, can I make money?
Yeah.
Bear in mind, this is, no offense, like, Nashville's cool, but before I knew it, I'm like, this is Tennessee, Mm-hmm. And I was in Loudoun County, which is the richest county in America. Then all of a sudden, I see all these beaters around. And then I came, and then, she was still in the bed with all hangover, but I was just like, let me just go and check out National Cars and Coffee. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy mackerel.
Yeah,
money.
I didn't understand until probably the last year just how large the exotic car scene is here in Middle Tennessee.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
You never expect that.
Well, and a lot of these guys, and women too, they don't own one. Mm-hmm. They've got like 3, 4, 5 cars, and then a couple of them are, real deal and got, 100 cars, which is crazy. Yeah,
we have some of our clients, but like guys like Sammy Porter, and like he's got a Bugatti Veyron, he's got Pagani Zonda, he's got Bugatti Chiron, like he's got a collection that almost nobody has. His collection himself probably it was worth a lot of money. But again, they're such cool guys. I'm so appreciative that I get to know them, and now we work with all the dealerships. We gain that trust here. So I started the Franklin shop. They were open East Nashville, and then we moved from Franklin to Brentwood. This is just a tactical move. But at one point I had 5 shops in 3 different states.
Okay.
Which sucked ass.
Right. It's not a quality of life.
Yeah, see, that's why I have no hair on the side of my head. I just keep pulling them out.
Now, you did used to have long hair, right?
No, that's a photo shop. That's a photo shop.
Okay.
A buddy of mine always takes pictures. He's a kind of photographer. He always shout at the bed. He always takes pictures of me and then just adds long hair.
Yeah.
Because even I was dating some girl, and her mom was like, I didn't know you like guys with long hair. She's like, no. He's got a little strip left here. Because I had my bro hack at the time.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
That's awesome. Well, so you come here, you obviously got a pretty extensive background before you get to the United States. How easy was it? Obviously you had been cleaning cars, you had experience already, and were growing that. How was it just kind of picking up and then replanting here in Nashville? How did that go?
So I still had the previous shop, and then the Corona happened as well. That sucked.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever people's feelings are about it, you know, for business as itself, it sucked. It pretty much killed my marriage as well, because my wife's health was not that great, and you know, she was a strong believer about all this. You know, also like I've been shot before, so I don't have a spleen, so I'm in a higher category. If I get, you know, some sort of serious infection, I might not make it. You know.
Oh wow.
So yeah, because my immune system is a little bit, you know, weaker.
Compromised.
Yeah, compromised. Or can be compromised. So there was a time when, you know, she was living upstairs, I was living downstairs in our house, you know, because, you know, she's like, why are you going to work? I'm like, well, who's paying the bills?
Yeah.
She's like, but what, are you trying to kill me? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to pay bills, you know.
That's right.
So there was occasions when I actually shout out to Team With Customs. They're really good people. They do like a high-end car build, like they start at 250 grand, you know. And they let me work at night, so I was not around other people.
Oh wow,
you know?
that's cool.
Yeah, you know.
Are they here local?
Yeah, they're in Madison.
Okay.
Yeah, Team With Customs. Yeah, they're good people, and they build really cool cars. They build hot rods and like mod and restoration mods and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, again, I've been fortunate. You know, saying fortunate. You know, I work for everything I have, but I've been very fortunate. You know, that to attract the right people. You know, I walked into Titan Motoring. That was the first place, literally, I walked in, because I didn't know anybody in Tennessee when I started here.
Yeah.
So I walked in the store talking about something else, and I was like, hey, guys, do you do ceramic coatings here? And this guy's like, oh, we used to do it, but the guy that did it for us, he actually moved to Florida, whatever. He's like, he's working out that well. And I was like, oh, really? I said, are you the best custom shop in town? And he was like, yeah. I was like, well, you just found the best ceramic coater.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
He's like, oh, really? He's like, when can you start? I was like, yesterday.
That's right.
He's like, okay, you're going to coat my G-Wagon. So, dude, I was making love to the G-Wagon for 2 days. I'm polishing. I got nowhere else to be as well. You know, I don't even care how much I'm getting paid, you know.
Yeah.
And then about a year later, he called me. He's like, hey, I'm buying a new G-Wagon. I'm like, I'm buying the old one.
Okay.
And I have it now.
Nice.
That was another dream come true. When I was 14 years old, I had a silver G-Wagon on my wall, like a poster.
Yeah.
And now I have one. It's just, yeah, it's been amazing.
Well, I will say, you know, because in total transparency, like, you know, we met at what is kind of like a car meet lunch, you know, there at Perry's Steakhouse in Brentwood, and 3 hours later, you're tinting the windows on my wife's new car.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we met at lunch, and it just so happened that I was, you know, doing the deal on my wife's car, and when I walked in over there, I said, yeah, you know, I'm going to have her come by tomorrow so she can pick it up, have the experience of picking it up at the dealership, all that. And I said, I'm going to probably give Janis a call and see if, you know, he can get to it. And he goes, man, I bet you if you call Janis right now, he can do it right now. I'll take the car over while you finish the paperwork up. He goes, I'll take the car over, and he'll probably have it done before we close. Of course, text you, and you're like, yeah, send it now. And, I mean, I think it was back in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
no, it is awesome, and that's so. What kind of little bit differences me from most of the detailers? It's really hard to let your standards go. And I'm not saying that I have let my standards go, but let's say most of these detailers are super ego driven. This is the way I do it. This is how it needs to look, and I get it. We have set standard procedures, you know. What we get, what we need to achieve, you know, how much time we can spend on something, how much product can we spend on something, you know.
Sure.
You know, because otherwise that's not a business, it's a job.
That's right.
You know, usually not very successful. But so a lot of these detailers, you know, all they have one or two helpers, you know, his cousin or his nephew or whatever, because it is hard, you know. Even now, let's say if I walk in with detailing in general, like you could detail the car for 10 hours. I'll still find something if I want to, you know.
Yeah.
It's just such a big, you know, it's a big surface, and there's so many things that, you know, what is perfect, you know, where do we stop at this level? So the problem is, you see, these guys, they don't want to trust anybody else. Then they ended up working in a business forever.
they just own their job. They don't own a company.
Yeah, exactly. And the difference between me, I'd rather pay, you know, 6 figures to a manager that takes care of it. Still, I'm still working every day. I'm picking up cars. I go to every dealership in their work.
You're building the relationship to grow the business.
Exactly. You know, but I wish I could just wash cars, man. Oh my God. There's been times when lately, I book my Sundays. I book one ceramic coating for myself. I put my headphones on, listen to some Joe Rogan or whatever, or just some classic music, and I just polish away. I love it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the difference between most detail, like, I don't know anybody who's got 5 detail shops in America. I mean, I don't know one person, and I know probably 2,000 detailers because it's very hard to sustain, and I learned it the hard way, unfortunately.
Sure.
So I had to cut it back. But because I have taken that step of hiring other professionals, paying everybody well what they deserve, I can pop out there. That's why I met you. That's why I met every Cars and Coffee, every Cars and Cigars. I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
And literally, I have other details messaging me like, dude, how the hell did you make to all these places? Like, you always somewhere. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, because I don't wash cars anymore.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like, if I'm washing a car, we lose money. Or our future is losing money. You know?
Yeah, so I always look at it like I need everybody in that business to know their role so well that everybody is selfish enough for us to be victorious. And what I mean by that is, like, everybody that works for you selfishly needs you at those events, making those relationships so that the work keeps coming in.
That's a very good point. Like, you want me to be there and have a cocktail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no overtime, buddy.
Yeah. And at the same time, you got to have guys that you treat well enough, that you pay well enough, that they're in there and they know that their job for everybody to win is to take care of this car, whether it's the tint or whether it's the paint correction or the ceramic or whatever it is that we're doing to this ride, so that Janis's name is synonymous with excellence.
Yeah.
When they pick this car up or when it gets dropped off.
Yeah.
So that you can be out there at the next event and hold your head high.
You know how cool it is lately? Like, I work with Rolls Royce and Bentley in car dealership, and they're like, dude, we've been trying to sell, services for you, like penetration film, but the guys are picking up a car and we're like, hey, would you like how to ceramic coating? No, I got Corsair, don't worry about it. So like our name is already there. Yeah. And I think specifically lately, some of the dynamics in my shop has changed because everything comes from me at the end of the day, And a lot of times I think my employees, specifically, guys that just detail, all they see is, I turn up in a G-Wagon, cuss everybody out, slam the doors and just leave, and then they see me, at some cocktail party with cars and cigars, and they're like, what does this guy even do, But like, I kind of sat everybody down and I explained to them, and this was after one church visit, and it kind of just really resembled my head. Like, we're all servants. Yeah. One thing is we work for somebody or whatever, but we're all servants. And instead of, I sat everybody down. I'm like, guys, like, you're all adults. Most of them are older than me. I'm 36, and I'm like, I'm not here to wipe your asses. I'm not here to go and, what about this? What about that? Yeah. I said, how about you get paid well, you do everything on point, and I'm here to help you. Yeah. I'm like, what do you need? The latest equipment, the latest technology, the tools, whatever you need. Yeah. You come to me and tell me, what do I have to do for you to do your job at the best it is? Do you need more time? Do you need more light? Whatever the hell that is. I'm your servant. Yes, I'll sign your checks, but I'm not your boss. Yeah. I'm your servant. Till you overstep me, till you cross the line. And then I'm your worst nightmare.
Well, you do have to have a strong spine in order to be an entrepreneur. I mean, bottom line, like, you went through it. You went through some adversity. There was tough times in order to get where you're at. At the same time, that doesn't mean you don't treat your people well, right? In fact, I think it's somebody recently was on a podcast and said that, like your elite, like most decorated, like SEAL team type guys are the least aggressive people in the general public. And it's because they know what they're capable of. They don't have to prove it. Yeah. And I think that to some extent, business owners have to kind of be the same way. Like, they've been through the crappy days and not knowing if you were going to eat tomorrow and will this business survive, so that now they're tough-skinned enough to where, I can treat you really well as a team member. I can treat you really well as a customer because what I have been through, I know what I can do,
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard, man. One of my guys recently messed up a Rolls Royce that cost me $32,000.
Oh my gosh.
Again, simple mistake. Yeah. I probably would have done the same thing. It's just, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but he just did a polish on a brand new car, and there's this one specific trim level where they have this tinted chrome, and usually on every other car you can sit on it for minutes with a polish and nothing's going to happen. Yeah. On that Rolls Royce, he almost wiped it off. And the dude's like, yeah, I wanted it priced. So we tried to color match it, And apparently, the guy's like, literally told the dealership, he's like, I got a bit of money. We can take it to, we can take the quarter if we have to. Mm-hmm. And the car's worth $750,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I called my insurance. I was like, they're like, yeah, we'll back you, but we're going to drop you instantly. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so I had to eat it, When I get that phone call, first of all, I wanted to throw up.
Yeah.
And next thing, again, like, I want to hurt somebody, or at least tell them how I feel.
Sure.
But it was just such a simple mistake, I sat down with that guy, so we don't make these mistakes again. But I got a fairly short fuse, and it's hard. I mean, I'm like, look, dude, this is not even your fault. Like I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think, again, like that's where we have to take a breath and go, you know what? We do, like as an entrepreneur, like when the business is doing well, we get to take some stuff home, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, when something goes awry, it's on us.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of in the game that you're playing, because if you're going to work on $1 million cars, then every once in a while a screw up that would be pennies on a regular car has got zeros behind it on a $1 million car.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But there's a reason that you get paid what you do in order to work on these cars too.
Yeah. But sometimes, specifically working with high-end dealerships, it's the same money.
Oh,
and again, like all these guys are fighting for all these, like not Mercedes, but like Ferraris and Lambos and blah blah. I'm like, truly, guys, I don't want those cars. Like they look cool, but let's say somebody, I don't know, takes a chair and like bumps into it walking past, or a lunchbox or whatever. Even on a Range Rover, brand new Range Rover, I can buy a door for $5,000, which is already stupid expensive.
Sure.
You do it on a collectible, I don't know, some sort of Shelby car or something.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So that's why, I try not to push that high end. It looks cool, but like those guys. Number one, I used to have a McLaren dealership contract in Virginia. So we did all the McLarens to them for ceramic coating. So imagine the difference. There was a 3-year coating, which was just for exterior, and there was a 5-year coating that was, we take the wheels off, we ceramic coat the glass, the interior, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
The difference was the 5-year package, platinum package, we charged dealership, I think, like $1,500. And a 3-year was $800 because it was just an easier job. Those people are so tight. Everybody's just going for the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, you got a $300,000 car.
Yeah.
And to fill up the tank's like $150. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now you're cutting like what, $800, $600. I don't know. Just those people are tight, and they all pay the same price. But sometimes the risk is a lot higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. We even do airplanes now as well. So
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, we're the only people that do dry ice blasting. You ever heard of it?
Yeah. For like undercoating, rust, and all that? Yeah.
So it doesn't really remove rust, at least my machine. Like I have kind of like a medium level. I mean, my machine was about $50,000, but there's machines for like $150,000, which are a lot better. But bases are the same. But yeah, so we're the only people in Nashville. It's not in Nashville, well, most part of Tennessee. We're the only people that do dry ice blasting. It's a really cool technology. So we remove, where the landing gear is on planes, where the wheels are?
Yeah. So
there's this... They have to cover it in this liquid called CIC, which is like a Cosmoline on Porsches, anti rust prevention thing.
Right.
Because you can't just take a power washer and wash it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we work on private jets, so we blast that all off, and it just all becomes dust.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 ways how you can remove it. One is the dry ice blast. The other one's chemical way. So they spray these chemicals, but they're so poisonous, they have to evacuate the hangar for like 2 days, and they eat up all the labels on all the little cable and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been killing at that too.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I know even there's only 2 places that do it in Atlanta, and the reason I know that is my brother-in-law just had his Jeep done, and he was like, "There's only 2 places in all of Atlanta."
Yeah.
So,
but why I mentioned that is we were working on a buddy of mine's airplane. A private jet. It's a Falcon, so it's a $3 million plane. And I told him, at the time, look, I don't have aviation insurance. I said, for me, the cheapest one for me, because, I'm not that experienced, they look at everything. So the insurance is going to cost $10,000. The whole job was like 12.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not paying $10,000 for insurance. And he's like, and he's a client. He's not a buddy one, but he's a client, but he's a cool dude. Like, I worked on every car that he has.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, I'm happy to do it, but you got to send me an email, like saying, if you mess something up, and this is not me, And he's cool. He's like, yeah. So he sending me the message last day. So by the way, through all that 4 days, I didn't sleep well at night.
Yeah.
Damn. Because we were working on cherry pickers, to get to everything as well. What if one of my guys falls off it, or something?
Yeah.
damn. And I was there half the time, like staring at everybody, you know, telling people what to do, which doesn't make their life easier. They're like, they just put headphones on, like, guy, just go home. Yeah. Last day, Danny, my manager at the time, calls me. He's like, Janis, we got a problem. I'm like, I say, what's up? He's like, we broke one of those little aerials. They have like those little antennas on the wings. They have like, I don't know, 4 or 5 on one side.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. You know, I got to shut the company down. I'm moving to Antioch, opening scrubbing bubbles, you know, just leaving low key, growing a beard, wear a hat every day, just disappearing from the world. So I called the engineer. Yeah. He's a cool dude as well. Said, look, said they broke the antenna. I said, hit me straight now. Don't bullshit me around. I said, I need to know right now because I'm about to or throw up or jump off the cliff. And he's like, ooh, one of those? I was like, come on, just fucking tell me what's going on. Yeah. He's like, dude, don't worry. We break them all the time because we got a box of them. They're like $60 a piece because because they use that plane a lot. Yeah. So my thought was, okay, the plane's grounded. So from now on, I'm paying for everybody's first class tickets, you know, and expenses. You know, the one flight's $3,000 to, I don't know, Miami. You know. Oh yeah. I'm like, But no, he just started laughing. And I called Jim. He was like, yeah, the guys already called me. He's like, I was thinking I'm going to mess with you as well, but you probably wouldn't survive that, you know. Nervous breakdown. But yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool. But you end up with some really great clients. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've noticed because, you know, I'm sure you know the guys over at Exotic Autosport, Lane and them.
Yeah, they're good dudes.
They're fantastic. And, you know, they're clients of mine. And I had no idea. That the exotic car scene was that big, and you never know who's going to walk in that building. Yeah. Like, it's crazy the people that just pop in and
doing Lane as well. Like those guys they're super good techs, you know, because like I believe they worked for a couple of dealerships before that.
They did.
You know, they become master techs through whatever.
Yep, him and Mike both. Yeah.
Yeah, and bear in mind, let's say 2 years ago, those cars were somewhere else. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like around now. But in every one of these high-end shops, you know, include mine, we're just packed with these cool cars. You know, it's awesome. Yeah, it's so cool. And you know what? Like back in the day, like because I came from nothing, I grew up broke, you know. So I always thought like all these guys are assholes, you know, like these cool cars. And you know what? Most of them are the nicest people ever.
Yeah, it's just like cool like 9 out of every 10 is just as cool as you would ever want them to be.
Yeah, there's the other one, you know, but
yeah, I mean, that's regardless of what income level you're at, right? The other thing that surprised me too, and you know, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but how many women own these cars?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, this is my car.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a buddy of mine. he turns up in a Ferrari, and then his wife turns up, and he's like talking something about the car. And his wife turns up in an SUV, and she just opened it. That is my fucking car. So he's like, yeah, baby, yeah. But yeah, no, they are. And then they are a bigger car movement. Maybe let's say not with that exclusive and that expensive cars, you know, because I think just like a little bit older men and women, they have, you know, more other things to do, you know.
Sure.
But there is this one girl that works, I can't remember her name is Timber. She started something like a national girl car scene or whatever. And they're younger girls with, let's say, still cool cars like, you know, Nissans and Camaros and, you know, Corvettes and stuff like that. And yeah, they do some events as well around here, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's always welcome, you know, because like I don't know how it was before, but like I think in Virginia when I started going these 3-car meets, you know, then people still kind of like, you know, who's who, what do you drive, and now when this all is grown to this level, everybody's just cool. Like Ben, shout out to Ben from National Cars and Coffee, the nicest dude ever. Yeah, you know, he runs the whole thing, and you know he's got 2,000 cars there every first Saturday of the month, which is coming up by the way.
Yep.
Are you coming up?
I'm sure I probably will. You know, it's because that's Saturday, right?
This Saturday, yeah. I might be at Bulls and Bagels at the Lamborghini one. Yeah. Because it's next to the shop. I got to get the shop pumped up. So
yeah.
It's work.
Well, and it's a different feel at each one of those too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think too because they're the same day at the same time. Yeah. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing because you get a different group at each one.
My problem is I got to be at all of them. Well, you know, and that's right. Just me.
It's bad for you.
Yeah, because it sucks. Like you know, I got to drive out there. I usually try to go there early, you know, and then shoot for like 10 o'clock. I'm back here, you know. Yeah. So or sometimes I say one month I'm here, 1 month I'm over there. Because Ben actually from Cars and Coffee, they helped me a lot as well to take my business off the ground.
Oh sure.
Because they didn't had like a secured spot partner, yeah, detail shop. And since I started with them, there's been a lot of other detail shops that want to have that part, and I've been exclusive with them, because I was there from the beginning. But now with them being a little bit away, and most of that crowd is technically not my clientele anymore specifically because, I have enough here, and that's who I want to be, and that's how I want to keep it,
Sure.
So we work on everything, everybody that pays money, It's not that we just don't work on cameras. We work on literally everything,
Yeah.
It's just there's certain processes and, packages that, there's no point to put, a $2,500 paint protection film on 2008 camera.
That's right.
Yeah, but most people get it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think is cool, and I'm not just trying to pat your ego here, is like people that are your competitors are also your biggest fans. Like I shared with you earlier. So I recently had
cool story, yeah.
recently had a car full paint correction and ceramic on my dad's '68 Chevelle, and the same weekend that I was picking that one up was the same time you did my wife's car, and I had told him, it got tinted this week. And he goes, "Oh, where'd you have it done?" And I said, "Janis out at Corsair." And he was like, "Oh my God, Janis is awesome. Have you seen this car? You seen this video? Blah, blah, blah." And this is a guy who's literally one of your competitors. And he's also like a big fan too.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Brian Patterson out there. I mean, between the two of you, I mean, I think you could tackle anything, Air Force One if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I think makes your path unique is, so one, not from the States. Two, it's almost like y'all threw a dart at Nashville and decided
literally.
we'll come in here. You get kind of punched in the face with COVID, and yet you've built this business and you're thriving. Like, what's the secret? What's the secret to just you keep moving, you keep charging forward every time you get hit? What I mean,
well, you have to decide when you close the doors to go back.
That's true.
You close the doors. Fuck it. There's no way out here.
Yeah.
There's no way out.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, it bothers me because I've grown this monster that big. I can't just pull out.
Yeah.
It's over. But that gives me the drive for the next big project, for the next thing, for the next dealership. I've always stepped that boundary specifically with dealerships. Nobody does as many dealerships as we do. We work with probably 10 dealerships in this area, and that's how we started Florida as well. I just went in and I just didn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
I keep bringing them cookies. They're like, "Look, dude, we're not doing business with you." I was like, "I'll keep bringing these cookies here till we do, and then I'll stop."
That's great.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll be here every Thursday, and I am. And I'm still there. Like now, it's because I take like the crumble cookies or sometimes cakes. Sometimes some dealerships they like stop bringing the cookies, so I bring the protein shakes now.
There you go.
Yeah. Switch around. But literally, it gets to the point when I get a phone call. What? No cookies today? It's Thursday. I'm like, I'll be there in a minute, or I'm out of town. But yeah, the consistency is everything. And like I said, no is not an answer. You can't. Once the door's closed, that's it. You can't go back. What am I gonna get a job now? Good luck. I can't afford my car payments. Just with having any kind of job. But you got to keep moving forward, and there's literally you are the only person that stops you of being whoever the hell you want to be.
That's right.
If you think something's impossible for you, then it's impossible.
Yeah.
But if something is possible or you want it to be, I'm literally a simple example of how you can do whatever the hell you want in life.
Yeah.
Come from a village of 2,000 people. Never thought I'm going to live in America. Never thought I'm going to speak English like that. Never thought I'm going to have this business, cars, and travel. I'll live a really, really cool and happy lifestyle. I just came back. I was in 10-day dirt bike trip in Grand Canyon.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah,
the
so beautiful.
Black and gold.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, black and gold dirt bike. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it's just you got to keep moving forward. There's a Russian saying: once the next shit's gonna come, the previous is gonna look like it was nothing.
Right.
We're all being in. You sit at home. You're like, there's no way out. Yeah. Whatever it is, your relationships, financial situation. You're like, I'm done. And then next week something else happens. You're like, that was nothing.
Yeah.
And it's always like that. It always works out. It's gonna be all right at the end, and if it's not all right, it's not the end.
Well, and I think
that's how it is.
I think too, it's you just deciding I'm going to get up and I'm going to do what has made me successful so far, and that's I keep pushing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to put one more step forward.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I think, you know, one of the biggest things for you is not only are you doing the right things, but also you get that you have to network. You have to be the face of the company. You have to be out there getting more business so that your guys have stuff to work on.
Yeah. And I love it, man. I love it. I recently, so when I had all these shops, I was running around like a headless chicken, you know, like, oh, bring me this, go there, go this. You know, I was almost like an Uber driver for myself, you know, just taking, you know, products and shit around everywhere. And then I kind of, once we moved to Brentwood, like I set up my office and I started to actually talk to people again, you know, like, because usually I'm like, hey, Rob, there's a client in the lobby, you know, go figure it out. You know, it's just because I always have something else to do. Yeah. And now I'm like, Rob, sit here, watch this, you know. That's right. And I'm so good at it. I'm and I can polish the paint better than anybody. And sometimes, and again, because I like doing it, you have to love what you're doing. That's also the biggest thing. You know, and sometimes I challenge my people. You know, let's say we get super busy because, you know, we make our normal bookings, you know, like our schedule and everything. But then when dealerships call me, I'm the yes man. Yeah. Can you get it done by? I'm saying yes even if it's yesterday. You know, and that's why we're that successful. You know, and sometimes I have my work clothes at the shop as well. I'll put my dirty shorts on and everything. And I'm like, watch this. Daddy's going to show you how to do it. It takes 6 hours, watch me. You know, and I do it in 3. And I was like, come check my work. Yeah. I'm like, come check my work. So next time when you tell me it can't be done or it can't be done at that time, just remember what you just saw, you know. And I like it. You know, I'm trying to lead the guys as well, you know.
Now, one of the other things that I think has played to your success, and a lot of people do it, and a lot of people do it wrong, is your social media.
Yeah, I love it, man.
I mean, that's one of the first things, that, like, when we figure out that we're talking about the same person, that's the first thing people are like, oh, did you see this video? Yeah. And so how did you get started in that path? I mean, obviously, all this started with a Facebook post. Yeah. But how did you kind of wrap your head around what the next evolution was? It wasn't just a post. It was you needed to engage people and entertain them.
Yeah, because so number one, you know, one of our kind of end goals would be as well to try to start to sell something, you know, out of our shop. Let's say a product line, you know, merch, whatever it is, you know. So and it's really hard to be such a, you know, let's say if I'm only in Tennessee, you know, nobody cares to buy, a window cleaner for me if he lives in Florida.
That's right.
Who the hell I am, you know. So that was kind of like the end goal, to pump up the Instagram, and I can literally, like, I can look at anybody's Instagram, any detailer's Instagram profile, and I don't even need to see how many followers they got. I already can tell you where he is at his business. Because everybody, including me, started with those collage things, you know, like dirty, clean, like that. You look at older posts, that was me, you know. And then, you know, I hired a social media guy, and he started making like all these like cooler like banners and, you know, like posters and stuff. And there's only this again. This is I think problem for all these detailers, like because they're so proud of their work. And let's say they pick up a 10-year-old black Mercedes that looks shit, and now it looks like a mirror. And I know how much work they put in it, so they're like, everybody's gonna love it. How many times can you look at a clean car? Right. It's all the same shit. Yeah, it's all the same shit.
So, it's personal to them. It's not personal to anybody except them and the owner.
Yeah. So with Ben from Cars and Coffee, we started this Corsair Kenny. Corsair Kenny, this imaginary person that works for Corsair. So I bought this like fake mullet, you know, and I was trying to do Tennessee accent and just like mess around, you know. And we just started to do these like Instagram videos where like, you know, I pretend I'm the client that calls up and like, oh yeah, it's barely dusty, you know how much it costs? And I'm like, and then the car shows up and it's like trashed. So we started messing with that, and then people like literally like, you know, even my friends like, hey, we want to see some more, we want to see some more. And now lately it's been just this big trend, you know, the videos that we do when something silly happens, and then I just like roll off the bike or something, and it's hilarious. Yeah. I like watching it, you know. Because like I have literally people that message me, when's the next one coming out? Come on. Yeah. And we got. Stay tuned, by the way, at Corsair Detail on Instagram. Shout out for my own plug.
Well, absolutely, because I got to tell you, my wife cracked up yesterday when I showed her the one where the guy's like standing on top of the water pipe, and he.
Yeah, in the water pipe.
And then you're on the stool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Have you seen when I'm asking for more water?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
I just showed Dale that one earlier too. Yeah. He laughed out loud throughout the whole office. It was great.
And again, we tried other things, we had a couple local influencers working for us as well, like, and just good-looking girls and stuff. Like, because usually, good-looking girls and cars go together.
Sure.
But it kind of almost backfired at me. Like, I think some of these guys who have a little bit more money, or they're not that open about it, or they're not like Harley guys, You go to a guy who owns a Harley, he's got posters of like half-naked girls in his garage where he lives with his family. He don't give them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But I think these guys, and I mean, today people are a little bit more classy and stuff. And it's not that we're just trying to bring, some just female for that attention, like she actually knew what she was talking about as well. So that was kind of cool. But girls and that kind of posts like didn't really work out that well because like we have a lot of nerds there as well. Like Porsche guys, they are the guys that read the book that lives in your glove box.
Yeah.
That everybody hasn't no one's touched it. Porsche guys read it. So they are those guys. So they're not interested in that kind of stuff. So they want to more know, how to detail a wheel, And so I have a YouTube channel as well. I think it's called Corsair Detail. Mm-hmm. So I started to do some car reviews and stuff, but I just kind of ran out of time, and it was too. Well, you run the podcast, you know how much it costs, So for me to have, let's say, 2 guys with cameras, I'm gone for the day. I have to find the cars, that takes time. Like you have to find people, you have to pay for the studio and stuff, and like a buddy of mine, he's got a fairly busy detailing podcast. God, I can't remember his name right now, but he's got 100,000 followers.
Oh wow, that's great.
And I was like, look, dude, what did you bank? Luke. God damn, what was his last name? Whatever. So, and I was like, what do you bank there? Mm-hmm. He's like, on a really good month, about 10 grand, on not that good month, maybe 2, 3. And I'm like, it's just not worth my time at the moment, If I'd have more free time, because every video cost me $1,000 to, $1,500. Like, let's pass that, even investment. But, like, if I spend the whole day on doing what I'm doing, going out there hustling, I can make more money than that.
Well, and reality is it's not a short-term venture either. Like, unless you hit the lottery with one video that gets viral
it goes
and goes
viral
crazy.
too, but
I mean, really, you've got it's almost like it really is like building a brand.
Absolutely.
In that, you've got to commit to doing this every week for the next years in order to be the overnight success. Yeah. It's not overnight. Yeah. It's built over years.
And I think content just has to be interesting. Like, I think I'm a funny guy, like I love stand-up comedy. Like, I love stand-up comedy. So Zany's nightclub here, in Nashville. I heard about Zany's when I still lived in the UK. I had no idea what Nashville was, but I knew Zany's, And I used to go to Zany's that often. I had my own parking spot there. Imagine. So if I tell you I like stand-up comedy, I really mean it. I bought every friend of mine, like we were this trip, and I just keep playing stand-up comedy. So it's just, like I said, how many times you can look at, clean cars, So we time to time we do some informative videos, like, hey, But we send out like monthly newsletters. Mm-hmm. So it's autumn comes, hey, don't forget to change your wipers, fill up your fluids, blah blah. Yeah. And also, if you want, there's 20% discount,
Sure.
For our services, But again, it's not just a simple brochure with some bullshit information. It's actually something useful. Or let's say, why do you have to check your tire pressure? What it has to be equal in all the tires? This is what it can damage or not, Like, something has to be interesting. You can't just keep looking and scrolling at clean cars. Like, nobody cares about it anymore.
Yeah, because you've got such a small number of people that are actually going to read it because they're just the people that are going to read it. Yeah. And then you have those going to read it because you've made it interesting. Mm-hmm. And so, you got to know your audience, and I think you've kind of nailed that down.
My favorite ones are the ones that I'm like, should I post it or not? Those are the crackers.
Something a little controversial.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because we do something a little controversial on the show, and that is things that we think but do not say.
Oh, I say everything.
And so what's something out there that you think that everybody knows, they're just afraid to say it?
I think people are too nice these days, and we should judge people more. People now say, "Oh, you shouldn't judge this." You should judge more.
Yeah,
you're like petting people, and just like, I hate this stuff. This is like typical. You sit down in a restaurant, there's another couple sits next to you. They get their food. You're like, wife, look at these guys. Came in after us. They got the main course. We don't have started. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you gotta fight everybody, but. And then the waiter comes over, everything okay? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, of course not. And they're like, fucking hell, this place sucks. So
they don't tell the truth.
Yeah, like I'm not one of those guys who's gonna go on, on Google and leave somebody a bad review. I don't have time for that. Like, those are trolls, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, the salmon sucked, you know. Let's get out of here. Don't come back, you know. But again, waiter's like, hey, how's everything? I'm like, steak was okay, you know, this and that. I mean, it's not worth $100. To be fair, oh, we can give you this. I'm like, no, I don't want anything, but I just want you to know it.
Sure.
Because simply, actually, I had the same thing. I have a client. He is the nicest guy ever. Seriously, the nicest guy ever. And so we did a PPF, and usually in paint protection films, and he had to come in, and we had to remove one bubble on it. Simple procedure. We always ask people to come in 2 weeks later.
Sure.
And he was booked for a couple of Fridays ago, and he came in, and actually my PPF guy wasn't there because he was like, I don't know what he was doing. But again, my guys didn't inform him, you know, hey, the guy's not here, don't bother coming, you know.
Yeah.
And then he came in on Saturday, and we thought it's going to be literally a 5-minute job when we had this conversation. So I even told him, I said, dude, just come in, once you have coffee, it's going to be done. And there was just a little bit more bigger issue, so we ended up replacing the mirror protection film, you know, which took about 2 hours. So I saw him yesterday. I say, Pat, what's up? You know, I said, everything's taken care of. He's like, bro, best as it is, you know. And then I spoke to one of my other friends, and they're really good friends, and he's like, look, he told me not to tell you, but he wasn't really happy about it. Like with the wait, and you know, he's like, then he came in, and nobody was there, you know, because we pride ourselves as, you know, as the top people, you know, of what we do, you know, and like he's the nicest guy. Again, he should have said something because I don't know.
Right.
I was in Grand Canyon when that happened, you know what I mean? But if I don't know, I can't fix it. So, you know, so I called my team in together, and I'm like, look, you know, we need to know all these things. And luckily, this guy told me, you know, that this guy was not happy. So it just, people have to speak up. You don't have to be rude about everything, you know, but you have to understand how you feel about it. You have to let other people know how you feel as well, you know. Somebody, like, I don't take any shit from anybody, you know. Like, if I think someone's, like, shady or whatever, I'm like, look, I think you're shady.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I have zero expectations, but I'm going to have zero disappointments. But this is where we're at, you know. Because if people start, I hate when people lie to my face. This insulting my intelligence.
And I've seen you in action on this, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here in a second. We were at lunch, and the lady that was sitting at the kind of diagonal from us at the bar just injects herself into our conversation.
Oh, yeah.
About taking your pork chop home for your dog.
Yeah.
And she just gets sideways.
Yeah.
And, you know, you were as nice as you could possibly be, but like any reasonable person would have known that you were saying, thank you for your input.
Yeah. Stop
but
talking.
leave us alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she didn't.
Yeah.
And it was really uncomfortable. And I mean,
I'm like a magnet to those people.
Well, she was trying to push your buttons. She really was. And I thought you handled yourself just wonderfully, probably better than I would have.
Yeah.
Because she was trying. She was trying to pick a fight.
Yeah, she's like, you shouldn't feed that kind of. I said, you know what else you should do? You shouldn't give advice to people that you don't know. Okay. I said, I'll stick to my dog. You take care of yours. Like, and we're good.
Yep.
But seriously, I'm like a magnet to these people. God damn, every bar I walk into, there's this drunk dude, you know, steaming like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, guy, all due respect, I came here to have a drink, not with you. So just, you know. But then sometimes, you know, I can look, because, you know, my size, like, people can take it as I'm aggressive. But, like, this is every day I get an Uber, because I drive Ubers almost every day, you know. Like, back and forth with dealerships when I pick up, drop off cars, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And these people just always, like, talk to me. I'm like, hey, where you from? You know, how long you been here? I'm like, guy, this is the only time I can be on my phone. So you keep driving, I'll keep working. We're good.
Yeah.
You know, and then someone will leave me a bad review. I'm like, what the hell? Because, you know, like in this county, you know, we have so many of these Uber drivers, they just literally have nothing better to do in life.
Yeah.
You know, oh, my wife makes me drive Uber, so I stay off the golf course. You guy, go back to golf course.
Yeah, go back to the golf course.
Yeah,
Do what you like. I mean, you know, I do think that people don't tell the truth enough. In fact, I actually talked to the seniors yesterday at our local high school, and it was just about life in general, going out, getting a job, and that kind of stuff. And I said, you know, be the friend that will tell the truth.
Yeah.
Care about people enough to say the real thing. And it doesn't mean you have to be rough and gruff about it.
Yeah.
But you can tell the truth because they need to hear it sometimes.
Yeah. And now I got a perfect saying for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Be the friend that tells you, be the friend who tells your buddy that his breath stinks. You know what I mean? Or he's got something stuck in his teeth.
Yep.
People are awkward about that, you know?
Well,
everybody's so Yeah.
And it's like,
But then you walk around, you got like a spinach stuck in your teeth for 3 hours. Then you look stupid instead of some dudes like, bro, sort it out. You know what I mean?
yeah, then I'm offended because you didn't tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got bats in the cave, sorted out. That's that's my family. Like I put like this. My mom would walk up to me. You wearing this sweater? What the hell's wrong with you? Like this is sarcastic. But I'm like, all right, mom, it's gonna change. You know?
Yeah, but you need that.
Yeah.
Like
So,
every once in a while, we need to be put in check because we got a little too wild, or we got a little too full of ourselves,
Yeah.
or we just didn't look in the mirror.
yeah. Like I wanted to wrap the G-Wagon gold. All my friends, no,
Yeah.
leave that car alone. I'm like, okay.
All right. So, it's hard for somebody, watching this podcast or listening, to see, like, you're a big dude. You clearly work out, 6'3", roughly 250 pounds. I mean, how has health played a factor in your life?
Massive. And I'm still lacking it, you know. I mean, literally, anybody that says they don't have time to work out are full of shit, include me.
Yeah.
You know, like I wake up in the morning, every morning I'm trying to make excuses in my head, like, yeah, well, I got to take care of this, I got to do that. Like, nah. I think in general, specifically, like, I think with life, I worked really, because I never had anything. So, I mean, I grew up fine, but I never had anything. So I worked really, really hard to do whatever the hell I want. And now when I can, now I'm trying to do things I don't like to do. And then I feel good about myself.
That's
like
right.
a morning walk, a run, whatever, gym. I wake up, we all wake up, like, come on. I only have half an hour. I can't even get a decent workout in. Then I shut up and go do it. And when you do it, after the half an hour, you walk out. For me personally, I got to beat the day before day beats me, So I take my dog out. He's happy. We get a really nice walk. Like, I literally have 5K. Like, I go up the hill and down the hill, like around near my house.
Yeah.
Take my dog out. Sun is shining. I got my phone in my pocket on silence. And healthy, in a healthy body, you got a healthy spirit,
That's
and
right.
everybody should do it more. But trust me, if, like, I know Joe Rogan's talking about, if you're depressed, or even if you just have you feel shitty through the week, force yourself to go to the gym 3 times a week. Force yourself. Just put literally on your fridge, or write it on your wall, whatever you want to do. Just say, hey, if I can't get out of this pickle, I still have to promise myself that I'm going to work out 3 times for an hour.
Yeah.
You go and do it, you got no problem.
Yeah.
It's just, things just take place, I don't know. We've got to stay healthy. We want to live longer.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be half done. No, not at all. And then, and that kind of that same breath, you were talking about the struggle or doing hard things. Now you're making yourself do hard things. Our pinnacle moments, the things that we look back on and we're proud of and we're like excited to tell that story, none of those were easy.
No.
Like, none of the things that you hang your hat on.
No easy thing make a good story.
No, not at all.
It's got no value,
Right.
Same, like, and it's with everything. Whatever you can get easily and access it, whatever.
Yeah.
So
what's next for you in Corsair? What gets you excited?
So specifically this year, I think, because I've been rushing around so much with all the stuff that I've been doing, I just kind of had enough.
Yeah.
I didn't go bankrupt though, came to like a depression or something. I was just like, I started to put things together. I'm like, look, I just got to downgrade this, I gotta bite the bullet, and close these places because I want to focus on being the best at 1 or 2 places instead of okay at 5 places,
Yeah.
And that's very important. And it's also financially very important because, funny enough, having 2 shops instead of 5 making more money, who would think, But so start of next year, I'm focusing more on myself. So now I got a really good manager. Shout out to Rob Craven. I have a really, really good manager that's pretty much taking my place. I've spent past 6 months, being literally, right next to him, showing, because he already came as a professional, but I wanted to show him the way I want to do it, and our shop is, a lot more fast paced than anybody else's that I know.
The Corsair way of doing things.
Yeah. So he's getting a hang of it. So I'm gonna go to Thailand in January.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and do a 3-week Thai boxing camp. So you don't leave the camp. You eat there, you sleep there, you work out 5 times a day, and you fight. And then at the end of the 4-week trip that I'm going on, we're gonna go to Bangkok, and there's a couple of these bars where they have a ring in the middle. And you can literally call out anybody, or somebody can call you out, and you just fight them, you know. And like when I think about it, it's crazy because everybody that can fight, you know. So even if I get my ass beat, who cares? This is a bucket list thing, you know. And then when I get back, we started to build a franchise, and this is where you and I also, you know, as a professional, that I want to start to pick your brain, and we can sit down and set up the plan, because some things that we have talked about consultation, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that is my way forward, because I've been eating up so many bills, you know. Let's say open a place in Florida, you know, then a manager pulls out, I can't find another one, then I have to be there, I find somebody, and you know, I have a 3-year lease, I have to break, and it's just a shit show that I don't want to be part of anymore.
Sure.
I have been very, very successful at what I do, and I'm happy to teach it for the right amount of money to somebody else, or go and perfect their business.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm looking in the closest future, and then, you know, we'll see what life's going to show to us, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, kind of in that same breath, now I know you're quite a bit younger than I am, but you know, not only what it gets us excited every day, but have you put any thought into how you want to be remembered?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not like the waiter thinks about me from last night. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't, you know. No, I think, you know, it's funny. When you, especially when you're a younger person, you know, like all you think is just, you know, money, fame, and whatever the hell people think about. Well, that's what I was thinking about, you know. Like, I want to be somebody, you know, that people remember, or I want to have that much money that I don't care about anybody. And then you speak to guys that have stuff, and all they think about is legacy they leave behind them. You know, so I just want to be a good man. I want to treat my people right. I want to do everything by the book, you know. I want to perfect. I want to, like, you know, bigger companies. A buddy of mine, shout out to George, that just opened. He owns a Toyota of Cool Springs, and he just opened a UFC gym in Hendersonville.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he got the franchise. That dude is a powerhouse. Seriously, like you just in his presence, you're like, fuck, he's a good dude, you know.
Yeah.
And he's got everything sorted, you know. He's got a beautiful family. He's got several businesses. He's making money. He's the nicest guy to be around. He exercises. He fights, you know. He does everything, and like all his employees, nobody in this town can tell you anything bad about him. Like, you need something sorted, you call him, and he gets shit sorted. And he's a very, very busy man. So I look up to that kind of people, and I just want to be remembered like that, you know. I'm already feeding 15 families, you know, at age of 36, you know. I would like to have, you know, a lot bigger team, you know, and again, training, legacy, like to leave some sort of legacy behind me, you know. I don't know, is that going to be detailing, you know. I always love cars, and I think that love's never going to leave, but, you know, do I want to do detailing for the rest of my life? Probably not, but yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So somebody out there right now is, they've picked out their new car, or it's ordered and it's headed this way. How do they link up with you? And then what all do you offer there at Corsair?
Yeah, so specifically, most of our clients are brand new car owners, okay? So you buy a car, you know, for, let's say, $100,000, $80,000, $200,000. You have to technically, if you buy that nice of a car, you want it to look good, and you want it to look brand new as long as possible.
Sure.
So there are a few options that we offer. We obviously offer the maintenance details and normal detailing on any kind of cars. But specifically for new cars, number one, window tint. Everybody tints their windows. You know, we don't install any cheap stuff tint. We only have the lifetime warranty. And I'm sure you probably noticed, like, you drive in the car right now, your arms are not even warm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys,
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for anything better. And the crazy part is, I had my new car tinted 6 months ago, and I've got a line in the middle of the windshield.
Yeah.
Where they didn't do it right.
Yeah.
No, that was not you. That was somebody else. So, you guys are perfect. I could not have asked for that car to be any better.
Thank you. But yeah, so window tint, that's number one. Then we have ceramic coatings, which is, well, you know about it, but for people that know what it is, it's almost like a liquid layer of glass that we install on cars' exterior on paint that makes the car's clear coat 3 times harder. So it can take a lot more beating and scratches, and then we can polish it out. But the main thing, it works very similar to Rain-X. You know, like Rain-X works on glass. You spray it on, like, water just runs off it. So that means that your car's going to stay cleaner for longer, and when you will have to wash it, you know, then it's going to be a lot easier to do so.
Sure.
Then we do paint protection films, which is the see-through sticker that we put usually on the front of the vehicle that protects it actually against rock chips. So you can throw rocks at your paint, and paint's not gonna get damaged. So all the track cars specifically, but even daily drivers, if you get on a highway, if you put a lot of miles on there, that's a very good investment to protect your investment. And also, most of the services, including paint protection films, they are registered on Carfax. So whenever you trade your car, try to sell it, somebody pulls out a report, it has added, let's say, the cars. First of all, even cars being detailed by us, it goes on Carfax. So imagine if I'm buying your car and I see there's 6 entries, in the past 2 years that you got your car professionally detailed.
Yeah.
Instead of scrubbing bubbles in Antioch,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could put that on the
There you
Carfax. That's cool.
Window tint added, paint protection added. So we do all those things as well. Again, and that's how we try to separate ourselves from other businesses.
Sure.
At least you can have a guy, come into your house, for $100, and do a half-ass job, and nobody's gonna know about it. Even the car, even the car looks great,
Well, and I will say this too: not all ceramic is created equal.
Yeah, of course not.
And that you got some of these guys out there that they don't touch the car. They're just putting the ceramic over the top of whatever blemishes were already on the car.
Yeah, that's the worst thing to do.
And that's the worst thing you can possibly do.
Yeah, because you seal in all those imperfections.
Yeah.
And even like a cheaper ceramic coating is a lot harder to remove. Like I've messed my own car up when I first did my first ceramic coating. Like I was having like 6 beers that night. I was like, just smeared it, didn't move for a couple. I had to wet sand half of the car.
Yeah.
Luckily it was my own car, but. So that's how I learned from those lessons. But yeah, new car protection always. Also, we do vinyl wraps. So full color change. We do vinyl and paint protection film. So we do a lot of Cybertrucks. They only come in the color of your fridge. So and we can make it any color of the rainbow.
I do have to say, a shout out to Elon Musk, because that is maybe the greatest move I've ever seen. In that, for economy of scale. Every panel on that truck is the same color. He offers it in no colors. So, I mean, it's kind of like Henry Ford when he said you can have a Model T in any color as long as it's black. And then it's up to you to get wrapped. So he saved, $5 or $6 grand on the price of the Cybertruck right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And from a parts standpoint, if they have to replace parts or whatever at Tesla, they're all the same part.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and thank you, Elon. For contributing to my bank account as well, because obviously a lot of people want to be more individual, and so they bring their cars to us. So thank you so much. We make some money too,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find us in Brentwood, Tennessee.
Okay.
It's technically kind of Cool Springs, but it's got a Brentwood address, and yeah.
And what's the phone number if they need to hit you up? Or can they book from the website? What's the best way?
So if you go on CorsairDetail.com, just fill in the form. We're going to ask you, how old is the vehicle, and blah, blah, blah. So a couple of things, and then you can add the services, and one of our members of the team will reach out to you. They're going to call you, and if you don't answer, then they're going to send you an email with an estimate,
When's the best time? So let's just say, if we could back up in time, I picked up my wife's car, 5 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago. What would be the ideal time? I mean, obviously, you worked it in for me, and I'm incredibly appreciative of that. But if I had met you before then, what's the ideal kind of time frame? Like, how far out should I usually try to book?
So usually we're booked out about a week ahead.
Okay.
Sometimes, because again, our operation is a lot bigger than most of the detail shops. We've got about 15 employees, and so a lot of times we can squeeze people in there and then, but for certain services, you might have to wait about 5-6 days.
Yeah.
But let's say, like I said, do your research, whenever you buy a new vehicle, like specifically in your area, we're the highest rated detail shop in this area by far, come see us at the shop. We always do shop tours with every client. We always show them what we do, how we do. We want to, because a lot of people don't even know. They're like, hey, I heard I need this. And I'm like, come in and let me show you what we do here. And then let's figure out how you're going to look after the car, and then let's figure out what is the right approach for your specific vehicle. You know? I'm always happy to take people's money, but I really pride myself of educating my clients on what it is and do you even need it or you don't need it.
Yeah.
You buy a lease car, you don't need a $1,500, $2,000 coating or PPF. Right. Lease it, give it back, don't worry about it. Again, in the meantime, we can offer you a 1-year coating, which is only $100 more than a detail.
Yep.
That's going to keep your vehicle clean for a year. So you don't have to overkill. And honesty goes a long ways.
It does. Well, you're building a brand that is tied to your reputation, and you get that. And I love that about you, and the fact that, you do try to educate everybody to make sure that they're getting the right product, so that literally they're bragging to people about their experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then how do they find you on social media?
Corsair Detail. At Corsair Detail.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's Corsair Dry Ice and blah blah. But if you just go at Corsair Detail, you'll see all the plugs and stuff. And come check out the videos.
Yeah,
I hope you like it. Share it.
Well,
Share it with your
some
mother.
of them are the cars, and then some of them are entertaining.
Yeah.
And so it's a good mix of both.
Yeah.
So
we try to pass on the message through the smile.
yeah. Well, Janis, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and thank you for the great work that you're doing here in Middle Tennessee, making these cars look
Thanks, man.
great.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, man.
Your studio looks great.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
bowling ball looks great. Is this the one you won from?
So that's the 300. So only person on the planet to ever shoot 300 backwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch it later.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, one thing that we didn't talk about, we do need to talk about. So if you were going to put on a charity car show, and you wanted to get you wanted to raise as much money as possible, and I know there's some great events I think, were you at Annie Rose?
I wasn't at that rally, but like.
And then they just did one. Harpeth just did one that was for hurricane relief.
Yeah, I was at that one.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of these great events. But let's just say Corsair's putting on an event. Give me 5 cars that have to be there, and give me 5 people that need to be there to make this thing huge.
So we actually do charity car shows.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. We've done a couple at our Franklin location, but now we just got to finish out the shop, because we still have some construction going on there and stuff.
Sure.
But once that's going to be nailed in, which is probably close to the end of November, maybe start December, we'll throw another one.
Okay.
We usually do, because I'm a big animal lover. I love dogs, and I fostered a dog, and 2 weeks later I was like, Rico's staying.
Yep.
So for that specific charity, we try to gather some money every year, at least a couple times a year. So they bring. So one thing is, what kind of people have to be there? We bring dogs that some of them you can adopt, some of them you can just pet. So what could be better than that?
That's awesome.
And I pay for the booze.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah. So what I don't like about all these charities, organizing it, is it's always hard to, find the right time, because, we got church people, we have, Saturdays and blah, blah, blah. So we always, that's one of the difficulties to organize one. But when we do, we have great local supporters like Harper Car Club. Those guys always turn up. Shout out to Chris and Lance and everybody in the club, Then we got some, big shots like, Sammy Porter with these Rolls Royces and Bentleys and whatnot. Sorry, actually Paganis and Bugattis. So people always come out. It's always for a good cause. It's always fun. And yeah, when you can organize some of these bowling events, please don't have me in your team, but I'll support you from the bar.
Well, we
I'll bring a couple cool cars down, but
there you go.
I'll bring 5 golden cars down for you.
Yeah. Well, the last time I did a photo shoot at a bowling center, my dad brought his out, and so we had a '48 Ford custom pickup. The best of show winner at Gatlinburg. It's a '55 full custom, '57. And he's bought a couple new ones since then. So,
well, with that being said, I just found out what kind of cars I need in my car show. Bring your dad. Yeah, for sure. No, I'd love that.
Absolutely.
I'm a big sucker for American classic cars.
Yeah, man.
I don't own one yet, but.
All right, so we're gonna have a mix of the most amazing cars here in Middle Tennessee, and we'll get Dad to bring some classics.
Yeah.
So what people need to come out in order to make sure that you got some friends that you're just like, oh my gosh, if this guy shows up or if this girl shows up, she's going to bring a crew?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. I think in Tennessee we are especially in Nashville, we're so spoiled to just run into Kid Rock,
Right.
And all those people,
Yeah.
You're kind of like, here's Bob.
Yeah.
And that's cool, like my barber, she's like, I was at Bob's party. I was like, who's Bob? She's like, Kid Rock. I'm like, wow. But yeah, we have all those people, and I don't know. As long as you and I are going to be there, and your dad's cars and some animals and alcohol, I think we're good.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll have to put it on the Corsair channel, make sure everybody shows up.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, seriously, I'm more than happy. I'll bring some serious machinery down to the bowling alley.
All right.
Let's do it.
I love it. Well, we'll have to figure it out.
Absolutely. I'm in.
So everybody be looking forward to that event. We're going to do a charity event. Is there a local shelter that you usually support, or what was that usually?
Yeah,
look
it's
like?
called SOAR. I think so. Okay. I can't remember. They're based in East Nashville.
Okay.
Really good people. That's how I found my dog, and yeah,
Yeah,
I love dogs, man.
that's awesome.
My buddy Rico is my best friend, my
Yeah,
best pal.
we've got 2 French bulldogs, and
Love
they
it.
run the house.
Love it. Yeah. They're really hyper, isn't it?
Well, so one's 13, so she's calmed down, and then the other one's 3, so he's a handful.
Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Well, cool. Well, man, thanks so much for
bro.
coming out and hanging
Thanks
out with
for
me
having
today.
me, man.
And everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Charge Forward podcast. If you want to get in touch with Corsair and Janis and get your new car or your old car taken care of, make it look brand new, really better than brand new, again, hit them up at Corsair Detail on social media. Is that right? And what's the phone number out there?
571-314-4944.
All right. You heard it here. Until next time, continue to charge forward.
Thanks,
See you
Charlie.
later. Team, is Jim Cripps here with the Charge Forward podcast. I just want to tell you I love you. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you for subscribing and sharing the Charge Forward podcast with people you know and you love, because that's what we're here for. We are here to share the amazing stories, the things that people have been through, the ways that they were able to improve their life so that you can take little nuggets from theirs and help improve your story and be better tomorrow than you were today. I hope that this is the tool you needed at the right time and that you find value in the amazing guests that we bring each and every week. Thanks so much, and don't forget, new episodes drop every Thursday.